Happy December. I just want to come and tell y'all the December affirmation today is the best is yet to come. Okay, we are ending the year and we are starting a new year in less than 30 days, January 2022. The best is yet to come. And if you do not know that this is also a song, y'all should look. The best is yet to come by Donald Lawrence. And I'm just here to encourage y'all this month. It says, hold on, my brother, don't give up. Hold on, my sister, just look up. There is a master plan in store for you if you just make it through. Now, y'all can go and listen to the rest of that song, but I want y'all to know that the best is yet to come. So just hold on a little while longer. Oop, that's another song for y'all another day. But yes, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you continue to support and listen to the podcast because it's going up next year, because what did I just say? The best is yet to come. So on to the episode. Passion our purpose, profit our pain. I don't want my name to ever be in vain. A life full of substance is the only thing that will remain the same. Millennial thoughts. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Thoughts. Thank you all for joining us wherever you're listening, at work, at home, or in the bed. We invite you all into our conversation today. If you're on YouTube or if you're on the podcast, and if you're in the Patreon, because I'm starting that too. Welcome. Hopefully y'all are having a great day. Today, me and Amber decided that we wanted to talk about passion and purpose and kind of just dissect that as like we are getting older and growing and learning more about ourselves.
Yes, I concur.
So first, we want to start off with some definitions. So passion is a strong feeling or emotion, and an object of someone's love. Okay, liking or desire. That's what it is. So she has a passion for music. So sometimes people are like, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about this? So I'm passionate about this and that. So it's something that you have like a desire for. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created. That is their purpose. The purpose of the meeting, like there's something that you're supposed to get out of it. So before we started, I just wanted to, share that, clear the air, because we are educators, okay?
Oh my God. And also people don't know there's a difference in these things. Like they just try to lump everything together.
Well, that's true. So we just try to separate it for you. So let me ask you, Amber, do you feel like you have found your purpose or know what your purpose is?
I feel like I did, because it goes back to like what has been consistent in like what I do, even outside of work. So I feel like part of my purpose is to help others develop and like educate people, and not even just in the sense of that I am an educator and work at a school, but like outside of that, which is like why with the Adulting Queen, like helping people be adults. And I feel like even though when I first will talk to people about the Adulting Queen, like they act like they don't get it, but I think that I'm teaching people how to be an adult by one, like having conversations and events and stuff, but also just like living my life, and then like talking about how being an adult really is hard, because nobody tells you it's hard. They just are like, oh, this is cool, like, and it's really not. So I feel like living my life to the fullest is part of my purpose, because that's something that I've always done, being like authentic and true to myself, and then just helping other people develop. I think that's a part of it. I'm interested to see like not what changes, because again, this has been very consistent for me like throughout high school to now, and just like even things like my family and parents would say about like me being a kid and how I would interact, but I'm interested to see like where it develops to, or like what new things do happen as you continue to get older, and like what opportunities come, and like what other things I become interested in.
That's interesting. Okay.
And what about you?
Um, I feel like I am learning my purpose. Now I feel like I'm like maybe walking into my purpose, but it hasn't really been consistent all my life. So I don't know. I mean, I guess when I think about my purpose, if it really is to connect people, like get people together, if it really is to like show people like how to work together, it could be something that I've seen all my life, but not necessarily something that I've done all my life. Because I remember back when I was in grad school, I was like, I wish I knew my purpose. I wish I knew my purpose, because I'm like, that could help me figure out what I want to do. And then like, not that it was an argument, but my friend is like, well, everybody's purpose is to help people. And I'm like,
I don't agree with that.
yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't think everybody's purpose is to help people. And like it was like with jobs, like, yeah, you're in helping jobs. Like my profession is to help, technically help students, whatever. But I was like, I don't really feel like my purpose is to help people. And I don't want it to make it sound like bad, like I don't want to help people, you know. But I don't feel like my purpose is to like help certain people or help in a way or whatever. Like that's just a job to me. So when I think of what I do naturally, like talking to people, just like giving ideas, or like, oh, do you need help with this, do you need help with that, like sharing like who knows what, like being I guess really being like a communicator. So I've always loved to talk, so maybe that was going to help me into my purpose. And just like connecting people, like communicating with people, you need
Yeah.
something connected them with the right people. I can see that as like, oh, it could be my purpose, or like it could be a profession. I still feel like I'm still trying to figure out my purpose. I don't think it's like so clear to me. But
And I feel like that's fine, because like people, again, going back to adulting, like think they have to have it all figured out, and like you shame people when they don't know what they want to do, or when they seem lost because they're trying tons of different things. But it's like, what space are people having, and is the world giving for people to try different things? Like, and that doesn't even have to be career based, but like just life, like where are people giving people grace and space to try different things? They're not.
yeah, they're not at all. Yeah, so that's how I was like, they be like, your purpose, your purpose, your purpose. So I just stuck to passion. That like that could be my lane. Um, and so I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out my purpose. Like I know what I like to do and what I can do. But also, I do think my purpose is like showing people how you were saying, like showing people how you live, like that's how you adult, how you adult. I think my purpose in life is to show people not to be so fearless, even though I am kind of fearless. But I feel like me like even starting this, like even starting with all this media stuff, like podcasting, like it's so hard, it's so this, it's so that. And like me being a person, like I travel all the time, I go different places. Like I was about to move to China, like showing people that like really you don't have to be afraid of the world, and you can really be fearless and like do what you want to do, achieve how you want to achieve it. I think that that could be like one of my purposes in life too, is like don't be fearless, even though that could be kind of so cliche. I feel like that could be one of my purposes in life.
No, that's definitely a good one. And then I know your part of your like spiel of us talking about this is like, when did you discover it, or when did you even start thinking about it? Because for you, you're like, you're not sure if you figured it out. When did
Yeah.
you start thinking about like, oh, what am I here to do?
Well, I thought about that in grad school because I hated my student, I hated my program. I'm like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. This is not my purpose. So it started in grad school. I'm like, oh, this I need to be purposeful, because I just felt like what am I doing? Because like this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. But then as I talk to people and as like I'm around people, they're like, every time I talk to my friends, they be like, you don't meet a stranger. They be like, you know everybody. And I be like, I think y'all are lying, because I have not met Beyonce or Oprah yet. But they're like, you never meet a stranger. You don't like you know everybody. And even in general, when I started my podcast, I just started talking to people on social media, like connecting people, trying to get them on my podcast and stuff like that. And then like when I started working and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, you know this person, you know this person, like helping people get a job, helping people know who to talk to when I don't even know who to talk to. I feel like I just been seeing it in like even my friend, well, I say friend loosely, whatever. I mean, because I did just kind of meet her. But this girl, she was following me on social media through somebody else. And I shared, like, I'm in the Atlanta Facebook group or whatever, like for single millennials or whatever. She was like, oh, yeah. She was like, you shared it and I joined it because of you. You know, like I shared something and like you joined it. That's a whole nother thing, talk about influence and stuff like that, because I don't like to use that word. But I like to say, like, I'm an inspiration. I think that could be my purpose, you know, to be an inspiration to somebody. Like I shared that and she joined that to get friends or whatever. Another girl's like, okay, I'm gonna join this because whatever. Like, so I think my purpose could really be like connecting people. And so I think I'm seeing it more now that I can put the pieces together versus when I was like younger and stuff like that. Cause people are like, you always talk to everybody, you always do this. Well, you never know who you may need one day. And that's really why I talk to everybody. Okay, period.
So honestly, and I feel like also just being a nice person goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds simple, but again, the world is poo. So
yeah, I think I've been learning and listening. I think I am nice, but I think I don't know if I'm going to try to be more kind. That sounds horrible, but I don't know if people are kind people, but I'm like, maybe I should be a kind person, because they always say nice is that word that I can't really pronounce. Like, it depends on how you treat people, how you come at me. But if you're kind, you're just gentle hearted, like that's a whole nother different type of person.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
I didn't really start thinking about like, what is my purpose until like being able to like actually say it and articulate it, probably until I started the Adulting Queen. But again, before that, like everything that I did was pretty like similar in helping people develop and like networking and like teaching people things and like presenting, and the stuff that I would be talking about kind of all was similar. But I don't feel like I actually like articulated it or thought about it in depth until I started the Adulting Queen and started doing events and things. But I do feel like people always would tell me like the same similar traits that they saw, or like they would say, oh yeah, you're really good at this, which is also what made me like think about it.
Like, yeah, it is like, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that. Okay, let me recollect that. People are like, oh, you're good at connecting. People are like, oh, you can do this. I'm like, okay, let me think about that. I guess people see you and they kind of know what you're good at. They know what you do if they're always around you.
I mean, one, because we're always our worst critics, so it's like other people are gonna tell you the nice things while you're like beating yourself up because you feel like you're not doing enough.
That's true. So do you feel like now that you know your purpose, you're like able to move easier in life, or like you just feel like, okay, I know my purpose, I still want to do more, or you're just like chilling?
I feel like I still want to do more, which is like the hard part, because I think the pandemic for me became difficult after like a year plus in. Like once we got to like probably, okay, we were, this is March 2020. That's when I started doing all the events and stuff. But it really probably wasn't until like the past March or a little bit before, like this past winter, where I was like, wow, like I'm actually really like tired. And then especially this past summer and like the spring semester of work, like was very draining. And then to start going back to work in person was even worse for me. So I feel like all that has been tiring. So it's like I feel like I'm not doing enough, or like doing, not even not doing enough. I'm not doing like what I want to do when it's to like the Adulting Queen, but then it's like I still am doing what I like with work and like working with my students and like connecting with people and stuff. But it's like I feel like I just definitely need a break, and like I just don't want to do anything for like a month.
Yes, okay.
Month might even be too short of a time, but like maybe a month.
Definitely. I'm already planning a sabbatical. I already planned one before, but I need to plan one and actually do it. But you know. because you need breaks out here.
Yes.
In life, even when you know your purpose, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm like, I still feel like I'm still trying to figure out like if that is my purpose. And of course, I guess I'm not rushing now. I'm just like, I just really live my life day by day, taking it a minute by a minute, okay? Because that's all I can do in this
Oh,
adulting.
really?
So
And
it's
also
like,
too, like with the pandemic, I feel like I mean, we were definitely tired pre-pandemic, but pandemic tired is a whole different tired. Like it is like it's just different. So I feel like before the pandemic, it's just very difficult for me to understand how I was doing all the stuff I was doing, and that now trying to do some of the same things or even like some different stuff, it's just like, how am I so tired?
mhm.
Like just responding to emails in a day is exhausting.
Oh, that's always been exhausting for me, Shusha. I can't stand emails. Like what? But yeah, so I'm just like, I will like keep it going. Like I'm still in my mid 20s. I guess I'll just have to keep trying to find it. But if that's my purpose, that's my purpose. But it's always interesting because my dad actually does that a lot too. Like that's what he does. Like he's like, oh, connect, learn this, and I'm like, Dad, what? But then it's like I kind of find myself doing that too. So I'm like, okay, was that my dad's purpose? Like, is purpose like within like how do you even know that's your purpose and stuff like that? So I really think about that too. I'm like, well, of course, probably people have the same purposes, but is it like a family thing or is it just like a personal thing? Like,
Yeah, I think that like also we're
or
having like
something?
a more difficult time because I it doesn't seem like our parents or like not just our parents but like that generation wanted to do better for everybody. It's more so like they wanted to do better for themselves versus
Mhm.
we're like we want to do better for everybody and like who's coming after us, which is also another exhausting thing.
Yeah, that's why I said, no, hold up now. I really only can do better for me and mine.
Yeah.
But it's really hard trying to take on the world and everything like that. That's why I'm like, they like I don't be responding to everything, like everything that be going on and stuff like that. Like you really gotta take time back for yourself. People really be laughing at me, but I really live in my own world. And like, I mean, I'm saying it out loud now, but I'm like if I need to know my purpose, I need to know it, who wherever it's gonna come from. But like I can't get bogged down with everything that's going on in the world because then it's like, when am I gonna focus on myself? So I feel like I focus on myself a lot or focus on my projects a lot, that I'm not even in the world as much or like know what's going on. Like people really be like, well, what do you do? What are you doing? And I'm just like, I literally like be doing my own thing.
Yeah. It's
So
like it's just crazy. But then with like purpose and like passion, again, I think passion is different because it's like passion doesn't like not it doesn't always last, but it doesn't always last.
mhm.
So how do you feel like you've moved through different like passions that you have? And are there any that you
Oh
feel like
yeah,
you lost?
that's true. I see what you're saying. That's true. It's like purpose is gonna be there for the long run.
And purpose can still change, I feel like. But to me, I'm thinking passion is kind of like what you like for the moment
Actually, feel
or
like
the
right
time
now.
being. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I think in all, so when I think of like passions, I guess I do kind of think of like creativity, but then when I'm like, what am I passionate about? Like, even since I was younger, I have been passionate about like um educating and like knowing that I'm passionate about sharing the not sharing the experiences of Black people, but I'm passionate about Black people seeing the world. And I think that's where my
Yeah.
travel comes from, because I feel like when I was growing up, like I was the first person, like when I was in middle school, I went to Korea. My dad lived there. Um, I went to Paris, like when I was in high school, but then like going to college and stuff like that, like I know that like everybody wasn't able to travel. I do understand that, but also knowing that like people are afraid of it. And I think that's where like my fearless came from, because it's like, what are y'all so afraid for to travel outside of the world when there's so much going on in America? And so I'm like, I want to kind of spin that. So like I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about that. Like the world can educate you that you don't need it to really be from a school. I mean,
Yeah.
that's me. And I think that I'm passionate about like Black people thriving and not just surviving. And so I feel like if I could be the one to show that like you can travel, you can go out there, like I feel like you should be able to do it if you want to do it. Because I feel like they put all these stereotypes and they put all these things against like Black people don't travel, Black people don't do this, Black people, and it's like no, Black people do that, and they're doing it.
Yeah, and that's a great point too. I feel like I definitely also could agree that I'm like passionate about Black people having regular experiences, which is just sad that it has to seem like it's um not regular for Black people, but it's because the general population of Black people like are not doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel what you're saying that, and I had literally had this conversation because I'm like, I mean, no shade, no tea. Of course, there's single mothers, there's single dads, there's it's in all different ethnicities, but it's like, oh, like in a sense, it's like, oh my gosh, like you're so privileged, like you was raised with both of your parents or something like that, you know, or like, oh, you're so privileged, like you got to travel, and I'm like, people should want to take care of their responsibilities. Not trying to say it in a bad way. If anything happens, things happen. So I'm not saying that like uh any bad circumstances, but like yes, parents are human, like yes, parents are humans and stuff like that, but it's like you can't really, oh, like you can't call me spoiled because my parents provided for me, you know what I'm saying? That should be normal, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
spoiled. No, my parents just provided for me.
Yeah, and I think that like that kind of actually goes into what I was saying before we start recording, like comparing yourself to, because people will like say stuff like that, and I mean that kind of is like comparing because they're saying either like your circumstances are different, better or
Yeah.
worse than theirs, and I feel like that happened to me a lot like as a kid growing up because I did grow up with both of my parents, but also just like being able to go to school and then like my dad moved from Virginia to New York, and then like even going to visit my cousins in Virginia, like they'd always be like, "Oh, you live in New York, like you all must be rich, blah blah blah." And I'm like, first of all, there's no you all because I'm a child.
Okay, like
I don't do nothing.
you all my
My
parents. Okay,
money.
let's get that,
Yeah.
my
And so
parents.
that's what like I think about a lot now, like when kids are saying those types of things. One, it comes from like their parents or like what they've seen on TV or like what their friends are saying. But then
Yeah,
it's like two, as a child, like you have zero to do
with
with
what your parents
their
are doing.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Like
I don't like that. They try to make you feel better, like, oh, because I mean, I guess I do talk proper. So people are like, oh my gosh, like you talk water, whatever.
yep,
And
yep.
I would like look at people crazy, like when they say that to me. I mean, I don't think about it no more. Like, oh, you think you're better? Like, I travel because first of all, my dad was in the military. That was his occupation. I don't
Yeah.
that's what
Like
he
that has
did.
nothing to do with you, and that's what
Yeah.
I think people can't understand for some reason. Like, and then even still as adults, like people will kind of judge you, like, oh, you grew up with both your parents, or like you grew up with one parent, or whatever the circumstances are, or like, oh, your parents were like on drugs or whatever. They were grown people and made grown decisions that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with me as a child. Like, yes, it affected me, but it doesn't have to do with me.
What I'm doing. Yeah. Are simple things like I just am like, well, I mean, I am fortunate that my parents take care of me, but I'm like, that should be normal in the community. And I don't feel like people like compare, like, oh yeah, that's what like, oh well, you can't complain because you have both parents. Like what? Just because I have both
Not
parents in
having
my
both
life
parents isn't
don't
like
mean
a
that I had
good
the
thing.
best life.
Exactly, exactly.
Like I don't understand. That's like, oh, and I mean, I guess I don't really look at having two parents in my household as a privilege, but that is also how I grew up. Knowing now that I mean it could be a privilege because but I don't really know if I like that word in a sense because it's like, oh, your parents provided for me. Yes, they had me. Like, oh, it's like, oh, if your parents bought you a car. I mean, I'm sorry that your parents didn't buy you a car, but like I mean, I don't. What am I supposed to do? Because my parents bought me a car. Like,
Exactly. That's your
it's
parents.
nothing that I can do. Like, they take care of their children. They people want to call you spoiled, or like we were talking like Black people call you spoiled. It's like no, like my parents just provided for me. That's not spoiled.
Yeah.
Well, I'm supposed to be out here getting it out the mud. I don't know nothing about getting it out the mud. I ain't even gonna try to get it out the mud. So that's why I think that I'm passionate about it. Like just changing the perspectives and the trajectory of like how we live in this world, how we look at ourselves. So that's some things I'm passionate about. But also I think about like, oh, I'm passionate about like writing, but I also think it comes from like me growing up watching stuff like I mean, of course, entertainment is entertainment. So, like, of course, we have the Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives, but it's like I never really seen that many Black stories until like Aqua Black Girl came out, like Insecure or whatever. But like, there
Yeah.
could still be so many Black stories out there. So, like, I'm passionate about writing. I want to share my story. I want to write my books. I want to share from a Black person's perspective.
And it's
Um,
so crazy again, like that we have to like think like that of like Black stories and stuff could be highlighted more because they're really not. And then it's like, even we talk about this all the time, that like people still don't really know who Lovey is. And to me, I thought that she's like a big deal, but people still don't know her.
yeah, they don't.
I feel like honestly, I mean, I can't say like overall, but I feel like a lot of white people still don't really know who Issa Rae is because they.
Well, I don't know. Now she on the HBO. They might know her.
I mean, that's true, but they might not watch it though. You might see the thing on there, but you might not click it. Like, so
Yeah,
you
maybe
might
like Insecure.
recognize
What's
her.
that?
Exactly. You might like recognize her, but you don't know like who she is or what the work is that she's done because she's been in mostly Black centered stories. So it's like if you're not watching those, you don't know who she is either.
Yeah, that's true. And I think people would think that I'm passionate about travel too, but I'm like, I don't think I'm really passionate about travel because if I was, it's like, because they're always like, well, why don't you be a travel agent? I'm like, I don't really want to book people's travel. I don't really care for that. I care to show you my experience and you do what you want with your travels,
Yeah.
Like I want to be on a TV show. I would love to like be on a travel show to show it, but it's like I like to travel. That's what I grew up with. That's what I know. That's what I do because I do it. It's not like I'm passionate about it. Yes, I like seeing the world, but I'm more passionate about like learning and like meeting people and like learning about different cultures and stuff like that. And not that I need to be speaking different languages, but like speaking different languages and stuff. So I think that that is also really cool. But it's like
Yeah.
I'm not really passionate about travel. I like to travel,
Yeah.
So that's some things I think I'm passionate about. Oh, and of course, and I'm passionate about like women's rights. I'm passionate about I am passionate about education, but the way the education system is, I don't know if I'm really feeling that. Okay.
No, and that's why I said not education as like working in a school classroom. Like I think education can be like more than that.
Yes, definitely. I feel like you can learn more outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about you? What are you passionate about?
I definitely think traveling, even though I miss traveling how it was pre-pandemic, because I have not been on a plane since March 2019. I think was my last time on a plane.
For real?
Because oh wait, no, not March, May
No.
2019.
Okay.
Because I went to wait, no, maybe hold on a minute. Let me get okay. May I went to Dominican Republic. I think actually July 2019 was the last time I was on a plane because anywhere I went after that from August 2019 to like March 2020 before the pandemic started, it was like a road trip or like I was able to drive there. So I still went places, but it wasn't on a plane. And honestly, I have no desire to go on a plane, more so because of the pandemic still being here. But I do think I'm passionate about traveling and I miss the traveling how I used to do it before the pandemic. I would say I have a passion for being like creative, even though I don't feel like I've been able to like do it as much. But then with our like new age of like content creation being like a huge thing, I don't like calling myself that, but I know like that's what I'm doing of when I'm like making stuff, whether that's like events or even like when I'm posting on Instagram and like when I do post on my website, like that is a form of being creative, but I definitely haven't done it as much recently.
I'm over that. Making
I'm
graphics.
obviously very passionate about brunch.
Yes. I'm cracking that. That's funny.
Yeah. Those are the first things
So
that
you don't like calling yourself a content creator?
no,
What? That's
I don't
funny.
like it. Because I feel like everybody's trying to call themselves that.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the influencer word.
Yeah, like I don't like that
I do
either.
not want the influencer word. I call myself a content creator, but more or less, I'm like, let's give people a name. So I'm like, I'm a podcaster, I'm a blogger. I kind of say content creation because I do all three of them. But I'm like, no, I'm a podcaster. I'm like, even an entrepreneur, like I'm an entrepreneur. No, what is your business? Are you a boutique owner? Are
Yeah,
you
like
a
that's what, like
hairstylist?
it's even, I mean, I've got more used to saying like entrepreneur, but I think that it's been weird just because everybody seems to be popping up trying to do it, and it's more so like who's gonna be sustainable. And
Uh-huh.
it's like at the same time, are they actually really passionate about it, or is that about their purpose? Because a lot of people just started stuff because we had nothing else to do. And that's why for me, I'm like, it's
Yes.
hard to like integrate with like work, like regular work and like going into the office, but also trying to do like my stuff with the adults and queen. It really has become like hard to manage both of them. So it's like that's why I don't like content creator really, or like influencer, because it's like everybody's trying to do it because it seems
Yeah.
like it's easy to
Yeah,
do.
I don't like influencer word because I'm just like, no shade, no tea, but them influencers on Instagram, it's not like they have, not that they don't have no talent, but
Exactly. They
they're
don't be
not
posting
really,
nothing. They post
they're not creating no content. They're getting told what to do. And they're an influencer. Like I was giving this example. I love Regina Carter, but I ain't bought nothing from her. I'm not buying nothing. Like, she's an influencer because her daddy's name is Lil Wayne.
I
She's not influencing me. She
don't
hasn't
like
created
people
no
like that.
content. And it's even like, I don't even know, like the love and hip hop people. I feel like it's just celebrities who are influencers. And I'm like, I'm not an influencer, but low key, I was like, this girl's like, oh, well, you influenced me to join this group. So I'm like, I mean, I think everybody has influence. That's why I don't like that word. Everybody has influence. Like, what are we calling people influencers for? Because they got 20,000 followers on Instagram. No, I don't like that. They're not creating anything and they don't have to do hard work. And that was annoying. That's why I was like, I really kind of wanted to stop and retire content creation. Like, it's my hobby. I guess I am passionate about it, but like, I wanted to show travel and stuff like that. But it's like during the pandemic, people coming up, popping up with YouTube channels, and everybody coming up, popping up with podcasts. But there's like, I was doing this
Exactly.
before this even like before this started even happening. And now they're like, oh, doing this, doing that. Now everybody doing this, and everybody want to jump on the bandwagon and do this. And like, it's just crazy. I've really been content creating since like 2015. I never really knew that it was content creation though. But
Yeah.
I've really been doing it because I started my travel like Instagram in 2017. I had another blog in 2016, I would say, not 2015. And so it's just kind of like frustrating. It's like people just doing it like right now, quick, boom, then y'all stop. Like, no, I've been doing this thing. When we say get out the mud, I've been doing this in the mud.
Yeah.
So that really just irks me. So I mean,
Yeah. And then I think that like it's hard again for people to figure out what they want to do when you don't know, or you don't feel like you have support in trying things, because I mean trying something new is difficult, but if you don't try things then like you won't know like what you actually like or don't like.
Yeah, that's true. I know I don't like editing.
No, literally.
And I know I don't like doing graphics. So whenever I figure out that that's something that I'm not passionate about, I'm like, whenever I get some money, that's the first thing I'm going to outsource. I do not like that. And yeah, like how you're saying earlier, like it's okay, like to change your passions. Like I do like to write, but I'm like, okay, am I really as passionate about it as I am right now when I'm trying to focus on different things? I feel like passions kind of like go back and forth. Because like, what are you passionate about right now in this moment? Versus,
Yeah,
okay, if you
definitely
get
can
that thing, like,
change.
yeah, then like next year you can be passionate about something else and like you're able to learn and grow. And even if you learn, like if I learned about I don't know, like trees, like now I can be passionate about trees because I seen a tree, I thought it was really dope, you know? So it can like change and you can add stuff and you can be more passionate about different things like that. And that's why people are like, it's like I'm not passionate about that. I am, but like you can be passionate about more than one thing at
Yep,
one time.
exactly.
So I just think that that is interesting with it.
And then a question that I just thought about: do you think that like kids, or like I guess middle school, maybe high school, should be taught about like what is purpose?
Oh, I definitely think so because I feel like when you're young, like they do the most things that they're passionate about. Because when I was in middle school, I was writing books, I was writing stories, I was writing songs in middle school. So it's like, if I would have thought that back then, if I would have knew that I could be a writer, and I think that's why I was like, oh, I want to go to LA, because that's where the writing and stuff is like that. If I knew back then that that's what I could have been on a different pathway. I always knew I liked to write. I never took it up. So I think that when they're exposed to something, I used to read a lot when I was younger though too. So when you read, you're like, oh, I could do this too, but I ain't write no book. But I think like, because even in elementary school, I mean, I went to church, so my cousin played the piano, and it's like I wasn't passionate about it, but I was exposed to it. So I feel like when you're exposed to something, it changes your trajectory. And when you're kids, like, you soak up so much stuff and you try everything. I necessarily didn't care to study and play the piano, but a way that I took piano lessons in elementary school, and then I took them again like in grad school. But it's like, I necessarily don't like to play the piano, but I know I like to write. So it's like, what can I do? Okay, I like to write, so I can write a song, and I can maybe put like a tune to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even not that I don't want to be playing the piano over there like Stevie Wonder and Jamie Foxx, but I know that this could help me with writing a song. So I think that kids really should learn about passion and purpose. And I feel like that's when kids be like playing sports and stuff like that, and they love it, or they writing. And I feel like they just do stuff and they figure it out. But I feel like sometimes as parents, like, some parents are behind their kids, like, like the sports gymnastics, because they want their baby to be a star. But like when you're creative and stuff like that, I feel like parents aren't behind that as much, because
Yeah.
they don't really see the pathway for it.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that they in the high schools or middle schools or whatever need to stop doing like such traditional careers at career fairs, because you usually are seeing like lawyers, doctors, teachers, like mechanics or like trade school, but they don't present other options. And I think that the biggest thing kids need is options, because again, when you become older, you're picking to go to college or whatever, it's like you're not really taught that like you can change your mind.
Yeah, you're not that you can change your mind, but I also think it's because of the system of what it is. Like, okay, long people, they're gonna go to law school. Teachers, they're gonna go back to the school system. Like, I don't think they want to give them creative options too, because they're not as secure, and they don't really know, because they're sitting here working at a school. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
no,
know, but it
exactly.
also depends on your location. You can be really creative in Los Angeles, but being creative in Louisville is not really gonna get you that many places.
Yeah.
Not saying it's not gonna get you that many places, but like, you're gonna have to move. Like, people that they was dancers and all that stuff, they moved to LA, they moved to New York. So I also think it depends on your location too. But I do see what you're saying and what they think, because they don't even probably know that some people could be journalists, some people could be writing, because you don't even get that creativity in school, because they be like, write APA, MLA,
I have
right?
not even written APA in so long.
I never wrote APA, honestly. And so like, you don't even have that. So like, I want to be one, like, oh, let me teach creative writing, because you don't even, that's what I really want to do. Cause like, they don't even have that time, because it's such a structure, such numbers and tests. Like, they don't even have that time to even show creativity and outlet. The arts and stuff be the first thing that be going, arts and drama. I took a drama class when I was in the high school. I didn't really get to take a creative writing class, but they don't really try to hone in on the arts. And that's why everybody be going everywhere else, because like, well, they say like in Europe, whatever, like they hone in on the arts, like they teach us stuff. In America, they be finance this, that, this, that. So
Yeah. And then I think with like myself, I'm like in a unique place because I went to school for psychology. Like I wanted to go to school for psychology. I liked it, like for the most part. Like, there were a couple classes that were difficult, but I did like it still. And then I was looking to go to be a social worker or guidance counselor, but I went for higher education. And I feel like I'm getting return on investment for my degrees because I'm working in the field. Granted, I mean, will I be working in this field for the rest of my life? Like, that's definitely not my plan. But the skills and like what I do of again helping people and planning events and like basically providing development workshops for people, I think will just carry over into like anything that I do. So for me, I feel like school has worked out, but some people that's not the case at all.
yeah. So that's That's what I think it is. Because I'm like always thinking back. It's like, oh, what was you? It's like, oh, dang, I wish I would have like, oh, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. You like, well, dang, nah, I can't. Not that I can't do it now. And you're like, nah, I want to do it. It's like learning and just knowing more about it. So I would definitely say, like, of course, passions do change, probably more
Yeah.
frequently than this.
And I mean, purpose again can change, but I think that purpose is a little bit more like constant than a passion, because again, a passion can just be like for the moment versus purpose is usually consistent, or I would say more long term.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely more long term than like passions, because passion can change.
Yeah, and passion like can wear off, and again, purpose can wear off too. But I think like it's more about like the qualities that you're possessing, or like
Mm-hmm.
your thought patterns,
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
and like what you're the work like you're producing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. So y'all let us know. Do y'all know y'all purpose? And what are y'all passionate about? We'll love to talk about that in the comments. I think and I think I really am like passionate about people. I really am passionate about people. Like I genuinely like people. Like I don't understand people like I don't like people. I mean, I guess some people are like that, but I'm like, I like people. I'm a social person, so I'm not gonna be like, I don't like people. I don't do that. I like people. So I think I'm passionate about people and wanting better for people. But then I'm like, ugh, I want better for people, but some people don't want better for themselves. So I
Exactly.
can't be trying to, be over here stressed out for them because they don't want better for themselves. I
Exactly.
want better for them. So yeah,
I
that's
agree
that.
with that.
What'd you say?
I agree with that, because
Yeah.
you can work better for somebody else, but if they're not trying to do anything, you can't do anything.
Uh-huh. That's true. Did you have another question about purpose or passion? I don't know if you had another one for
We
one
said
of
we
them.
said about like school. We talked about comparison,
Okay.
passion versus purpose. Do we know them? How do we discover it?
Oh, discover. That's what I was trying to remember.
I think that was all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
I don't
good.
think we missed anything. Again, I would love to know what the people listening have to say for
Yes.
themselves. Um,
Hmm.
I'm like really trying to think, because I feel like we were like concise, like we got all the information out. Just like that,
I know, like this one was quick. Hold up now,
like
y'all.
it's like the mentorship one too. That one we got everything out, and we were like, "Wait, we're done," and we're
Yeah, it was so quick. That's why I was like, did she have another one? I remember that, but
no,
no,
I
it was
think we went through them
comparison.
all. Well, the
Passion,
question.
purpose. Yeah. I used to talk about passion, purpose. Oh, then the next word is profit. Okay. And oh, well, here's a question though. Like, do you feel like this is like for you or anyone, like, do you feel like you have to start a business on your passion? Do you feel like if you are in business or if your job, do you feel like your job is your purpose? That's questions for the
No,
audience.
I don't. Even though my job and what I'm doing aligns with my purpose, like working cannot be it for the rest of the life. It just can't. It cannot. And then it's like some people are okay working jobs that like, not that they don't like, but it's like they're just doing mundane work, like it's day to day regular stuff, and they're okay with it because they're making money. But then again, some people are making a whole bunch of money but don't like their job. So
Mhm.
for me, I
Well,
don't
I'm low key on that wave right now.
see.
Like I need to keep making the money.
I don't think purpose has to be your job. Like you don't have to be doing that, but you
Mhm.
should find something you like, or how you can tolerate it somehow, because you don't want to be miserable at work. Obviously,
Yeah, you don't want
I
to.
don't think it has to. And then for like like starting a business doesn't have to be something you're like passionate. Well, I think it should be
Don't think it's
something.
not. I don't.
I think a business should be something you're passionate about, but it doesn't have to
have
be
to be
purpose,
purpose.
because you have to have some type of motivation of like why you're doing it, and again sustaining it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm like, it doesn't have to be your purpose, but I feel like you do have to be passionate about it. But I mean, some people don't be passionate about their business. They just like, they get it and it makes good money. So at this point, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's different because it's not like they're doing it because they thought like, oh, this is like purposeful and this is what I want to do. Or maybe it did have a purpose in the season or the moment that they were doing it, but then it's not gonna like last.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think this was great. I would love to hear what the people have to say about their purpose and passion and how they found it. What have been like struggles, what's something even like you're like scared to do or you don't know like how to do it, because I feel like that's another thing. People are just scared and don't want to do the things that they feel like they should do for whatever reason.
Definitely. Yes, let us know in the comments and make sure you rate us, leave a review. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and leave us a comment. All right. You all have a great rest of your night or morning whenever you're listening to this.
Or afternoon, whatever. I'm over here yawning.
Yes. Hey millennials, I am back with a special announcement. Millennial Thoughts Academy is launching in March. This is where we will help millennials learn everything they weren't taught in school, side hustle edition. So if you've always been interested in starting a side hustle, but you don't know where to go, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to brand or market or promote yourself, make sure you enroll into the academy. That is by following us on Instagram at Millennial Thoughts Pod, and you can email me or you can DM me and say that you are interested or click the link in our bio. We are so excited to be accepting people for our academy next month. Spots will fill fast. So it is a 6-week program and it is 1 hour meetings every week. And at the end of it, you will have your side hustle, you will have your social media, and hopefully you will have your first sale. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, please, please, please contact me. Get with me on Instagram, Twitter, or even Facebook. I have a group. Facebook is called Millennial Thoughts, page and everything. And you all are the first people to hear this because you all are listeners. So I greatly appreciate it. Please reach out to me. I want to help you all start side hustle so you can either get that new stream of income, pay back your debt, or even use the money to travel. It's your girl Alicia, and she's out.
The Adulting Queen was made to help you navigate adulting because adulting is very, very, very ghetto. There's so many things that you don't know, you don't understand, and you are just winging it day by day. And that is why I created this platform. My name is Amber, and I'm the creator of The Adulting Queen. You can find me on Instagram at The Adulting Queen. Website is theadultingqueen.com. Facebook, The Adulting Queen, LinkedIn, The Adulting Queen, basically every platform, The Adulting Queen. Make sure you follow, share with your friends, because we are all just out here winging it and need support to make it through this adulting journey, which again is very ghetto. Like I cannot stress that part enough. What I have done is host events, consultations, just post motivational things. And really, I hope by living my life out loud and authentically that that's inspiring others to do the same and to do it in a healthy, balanced manner. Again, because everybody does not have it figured out at all. And don't let anybody let you believe that they do. So again, follow me at The Adulting Queen, and thanks for listening.